My name's Tyler Falvo. I'm a graphic and interactive design major at Tyler at Temple. My class is currently a sophomore. I was a business student my first year here, and then I ended up transferring into Tyler to be graphic and interactive design. So the art that I make is more what I'm going for in my major is digital art. So I'm more into like website design and things of that such. Currently, I'm into like doing more physical art and like in the realm kind of because it's like I'm doing like ceramics, I'm doing CAD, I'm doing all these things that you're bringing into the actual world, whereas like what I'm aiming for is graphic design and website design, so like designing how a website looks, designing how it functions and the layout of that such.
Who inspired you to make art?
So like that's like a really hard question for like I feel like some people have a direct path of like who inspired them to get into the art industry and like start making stuff, but I feel like for myself I kind of always had this inspiration to like create things and like make things like into like the physical world rather than keeping it into like I don't know. Like I feel like most kids like growing up in high school and like early on in school will just go to class, do work and like whatever, and I feel like there's a certain few that like want to do more than just that and they actually want to create things, and I think my inspiration just came from like just being surrounded by a bunch of other things in the area that made me want to create stuff and like kind of sparked interest in like things like that. like I remember like growing up I would always be more interested in like how something was put together and built rather than using it as a function kind of, and that's what kind of like inspired me to get into like oh like I want to make something and I want to create stuff for people. I'd say like before I known my professors and other people in the industry, I'd say David Carson is someone that I always like looked up to in design and stuff. David Carson is like a graphic designer for a magazine and type and like all this cool fun stuff. He did a surf magazine, and that's where he really became popular because his style was just like so different from like what was current in the industry in his time. So he really like was crazy for like his design styles, and people were like whoa like that's crazy, and like it just became like such a big thing. I was like so interested in how he put his work together. I think my biggest takeaway is like getting to know the process of each like medium of art, because knowing how to do more than just like one simple form of art is very useful because it really allows you to expand in which you want to do in the industry. So it's like most people will go into like strictly just graphic design, do just graphic design. And I think what's very unique about Tyler is it allows you to go a step into these other mediums of art, and that allows you to expand like what you would like your work to be. So like my graphic design and what I do in digital art could be very well inspired by someone doing something in ceramics or someone that's doing glass blowing or like other things of that such. So
What is your favorite kind of art to make?
currently my favorite actually is painting. I've developed such a passion for painting in the past couple of months. I think it started over summer. I had such a craze for like painting stuff. I used to not paint as much because I always thought I was bad at it, and that's what everyone's like initial intent is. Like everyone's like, "Oh, I'm bad at painting, so I'm not gonna do it." So like no one goes forth and tries it, but literally like if you make a mistake you just keep going with it and you just like can make something out of something that you messed up on, and it's paint like it dries and you just go over it. So currently my favorite, I'm into like painting with acrylic, not like oil paint but mostly just acrylic paints and stuff, and I like to like just paint landscapes and scenes that I see that I think are like close to home for me, and it brings me to like a peaceful place. I generally like a lot of what I do, even if it's not in the realm that I want to be working in. I'd have to say when I took photography, I think I had a lot of pieces that I did like that came out of that for prints and stuff. I just like photography because I think it's a very powerful tool. I think every piece of art is a powerful tool, but I think for photography it was like my favorite. I did this one shoot where I was like actually I was walking out of Tyler at night, and next door in the window. It was nighttime, and the windows were frosted, and these kids were like all laying against the window with their backs up against it. And I was like, oh, that'd be a cool shot. And I was like, wait, I have a camera on me, so I took my camera out and I photographed it, and I cropped in. After I took the photo, I cropped into just the two, and they were wearing very bright shirts. And it looked just like kind of like faded away through the like blurred glass, and it was just like the coolest shot like I've like ever taken. And like every time I look at it, I'm like I smile because I'm like, wow, like that's just like so cool, like seeing it.